Hello, everyone. It's been a rather unique week, to say the least. We are in the middle of a war here in Israel, and things are far from being normal. From this perspective, I thought that as we get into Shabbos, we would say something a bit off the beaten path. As everybody knows, we're in the month before Pesach, and the Shulchan Aruch Paskin, Shoalim Be'ilchot Pesach Kodem LaPesach Shloshim Yom. You start learning the laws of Pesach 30 days before Pesach. This is based on the Gemara in Masechet Pesachim on Daf Vav, in which it says that Moshe Rabbeinu was standing on the eve of Pesach and began to tell the Jewish people, what do you do if you are not able to bring the Korban Pesach on the eve of Pesach, known as Pesach Sheni, which comes a month after Pesach. From this perspective, if we plug it into Pesach, the Mishnah Berurah says, Matchilim b'yom ha'Purim atzmo, you start from Purim itself, because that is 30 days before Pesach. Asks Rav Tzvi Elimelech Shapira from Dinov. The Dinover Rebbe, known as the Bnei Yissaschar, was a very unique Rebbe. He actually wrote a book on halacha called Derech Pikudecha that the Mishnah Berurah quotes quite often. And he also, like many Hasidic Rebbes, has books on Hasidus. And he asks the following question. Yesh lachkor, lama shloshim yom daika? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu pick 30 days? I mean, the laws of Pesach Sheni are important, but he could have given over maybe in less time than that. Why is it that we have this ironclad rule regarding Pesach for sure, that it's 30 days starting from Purim? Explains the Dinover Rebbe. Nitztaveinu al Pesach Amalek gimel mitzvot minyan taryag, b'machshava, b'dibur, u'b'maaseh. Regarding Amalek, we have 3 mitzvot in the Torah. Lo tishkach, don't forget, that's something you do in your mind. Zachor, which we explained is verbally say it, which we did last Shabbos before Purim. And finally, b'maaseh, and that is to wipe out Amalek. Well, since it's written 3 times, take the word Amalek, he says, times it by 3, it comes out to 720. Namely, Amalek equals 240 times 3, 720. He goes on to say that in 30 days, namely these 30 days where we learn the laws of Pesach, the amount of hours is also 720. Take 30 days, times it by 24, it comes out to 720. So therefore, he says, it can't be a coincidence. Be'otan 30 yom kodem LaPesach, Hashem yitbarach ma'orer chasadav, tashach sha'ot kodem achag. In these 30 days before Pesach, God gives extra mercy to the Jewish people during the 720 hours before Pesach. And therefore, he says, that's the reason why it's 30 days and not 40 and not 20. Namely, you start to learn the laws of Pesach from Yom Mechiyat Amalek, from the day that we started to wipe out Amalek, which was on Purim. From this perspective, he adds, based on the Zohar, Asher la'atid b'mheira b'yameinu, Milchemet Amalek u'mechiyato yeh be'erev Chag HaPesach, ha'atchala b'yom HaPurim, v'hasiyum v'hagmar be'erev Pesach. Indeed, putting this all together, in the future, he says, the time that we're going to wipe out Amalek is going to start on Purim and end at the eve of Pesach, which is exactly 720 hours, which is exactly Amalek times 3, corresponding to the 3 mitzvot that has to do with Amalek. From this perspective, he says, don't just rely on my gematrias, because gematrias are fun, but rather we can explain halachos based on this. 2, I'd like to point to. Number 1, on the night before Pesach, God willing, we're going to do bedikat chametz, check our house to make sure there's no chametz. And many poskim asks, as does the Torah in Simon Taf Lamed Bet, why don't we make a shehechiyanu? After all, we didn't do the mitzvah of bedikas chametz in a year. According to what he said, ledarkenu muvan, ki mevarchin shehechiyanu b'tchilat zman habiur b'yom hapurim. If indeed this 30-day period is all about eradicating Amalek, then we said Shehechiyanu at the beginning of the period. On Purim, we said Shehechiyanu before we read the Megillah. And he adds another halachic nafkamina. Menichanami, Masha Amru Chazal. The Korin Parshat Zachor b'Shabbat shekodem Purim lahagdim schira la'asiyah. You always read Parshat Zachor the Shabbos before Purim so that you verbally say what you're supposed to do. Asks Rebbe Tzvi Elimelech from Dinover, what exactly do we do physically? After all, I know we read the Parsha, that's Schira, but what Asiyah is there? He comes along and says, well, Bimheira b'yameinu, one time in the future, Matchilim b'yom Purim la'aniyah regel, we start moving ourselves to eradicate Amalek on Purim, and it will end 30 days later on Erev Pesach. Well, this has been a Torah of the Dinover Rebbe for many, many years. And this year, we are eradicating Amalek during this very time. The Rambam says that with regard to the 7 nations that we're supposed to eradicate, the Yevusis, the Girgashis, Kfar Avad Zichram, we no longer have these nations. Sancherim came, mixed up everyone. We don't know who a Yevusi is, who a Girgashi is. But the very next halacha in Hilchot Melachim, the Rambam says that there's a mitzvah to wipe out Amalek, and he doesn't add those words, Kfar Avad Zichram. And thus said the father of Rav Soloveitchik, that regarding Amalek, it's not a nation, but it's any nation that's devoted to wipe out Israel. Any nation that threatens the Jewish people is Amalek. So here we are, a week after we started to eradicate the Amalek of our generation, who threatened the Jewish people. And we're within the 30 days before Pesach. Now you understand why it's exactly 30. Within the month before Pesach, says the Dinover Rebbe, it's an entire month devoted to eradicating Amalek. And hopefully, we will get to the eve of Pesach, when this entire threat is going to be eradicated, and there will be no more Amalek threatening the Jewish people. Let's hope and pray that his words come true.
שלא יחד אחד בבדו מדלייני שלא יחד אחד בבדו מדלייני שלא יחד אחד בבד שלא יחד אחד בבדו מדלייני לחלסייני איי לא שחר בבדוי איי לא שחר בבדוי אוי מדלייני לחלסייני איי לא שחר בבדוי איי לא שחר בבדוי אוי מדלייני לחלסייני Hakul doish